Hello, this is the Timeless Tarot, and in today's reading we'll be looking at twin flames and separation. I'm thinking that I may well do a divine masculine reading and a divine feminine reading tomorrow. That's my feeling, but this is for the situation as is at the moment. So, bottom of the deck, we have the Four of Swords. This is the card of rest and recovery, and even repair in a way. Feels to me like the separation needs to be repaired. Well, that's quite interesting, isn't it? If the separation needs to be repaired, that would imply a coming back together. So we'll see. And also the other thing about the Four of Swords is it's the card after heartbreak. So Three of Swords is heartbreak and Four of Swords is recovery from heartbreak. So maybe there's going to be a coming back together, or maybe there's going to be moving away from the situation for one or both of you. We'll have to see. I felt that I really needed to look at the very bottom of the deck again, and we've got the Emperor. So this to me, well, the Emperor is a very masculine energy. He's the alpha male in the pack, if you like. I think that the masculine is considering bringing this connection back together, or at least he's considering some sort of repair. To me, it feels like he's sort of preparing himself to come forward. I think this separation could have been going on for quite a long time. And that's mostly because of the masculine's ego, I would say. Now, I'm not taking sides here, so I don't want any of the masculines listening to this video to think that I'm against them. I'm not. I'm really not. But the Emperor is a very masculine card. And I think that this separation has been going on a long time partly because of the ego, and partly because they've had to really change the fundamentals of their life. And that's something, that is not a phrase I would ever use ordinarily, fundamentals. This connection has fundamentally changed them. And so now they're having to reassess the fundamentals of life. What is and isn't important to them. That's what's been going on whilst you've been in separation. They've been reassessing the fundamentals. At first, there was a bit of ego repair going on, particularly if you were the feminine watching and you decided to step back from the situation. If that was the case, then there was a fair bit of ego repair that the masculine had to go through first. It's almost like it's only fair that you had to step back. They know it was only fair. I think initially their ego might have taken a bit of a blow, but I think they pretty soon recognised that the situation as was not fair for you. And if it wasn't, and this is what's been going through their mind, I'm sorry if this is coming out a bit slowly, that in fairness to you, the situation could not go on as it was. And they know that. I think at the time they were upset, but mostly their pride was hurt if you stepped back. But there's been a fair period of time, I'm saying fair again, period of time, fair and foul. In fairness to you, if you were the female and you stepped back from the connection and you did not properly explain yourself, you just sort of thought, I can't be bothered anymore, and just didn't make contact again. Yes, their ego will have taken a bit of a knock to start with, but I think they have realised that the situation was not fair for you. They have finally understood that. And actually, do you know what? That feels quite recent. Fairness is right at the centre of this situation. I feel like these masculines are honourable. They're prideful, but they're honourable, with a strong sense of fair play. And they know they weren't playing fair. That's what it feels like. And I was talking about fair and foul, and it feels a bit like a game of football. It was foul play on their part, and they know that. And so, I mean, maybe you stepped back and you spelt it all out to them. But even if you did, I think their pride took a huge knock to start with. But they have been contemplating, and like I say, fairly recently, they've come to the conclusion that the situation as it was not fair for you. And ultimately, of course, if it was only fair for them, it couldn't be sustained. Yeah, they've realised that. There is something else here as well. As I was talking about the Three of Swords being heartbreak, the Emperor is not happy without his Empress. He's struggling. And if at first it was only his pride that was hurt, it's more than that now. It's all of him that hurts. His heart is hurting this time. And that's part of the recovery. Where now actually he can feel it and his heart is wounded now. Now he knows what he did. Now, well, not what he did, it's more like what he didn't do. There's been a period, quite a prolonged period of solitude, I think for both of you, but for the masculine, it's been life-changing. Well, that was a big, profound start to the reading, wasn't it? Right, okay. At the centre. Sorry, I'm still looking at this Emperor card. He's withdrawn. Now, it's interesting because we've got these swords here. There's a sword there, and there's 4 swords here. And there's something about withdrawing and being withdrawn, withdrawing his sword. He's become withdrawn. The only way I can say it is that it feels like the fight has gone out of him. Yeah. What is he trying to say to me? It feels to me like he's become quite vulnerable in a way, sensitive. It's like things are hurting him now. Might have been quite rough and tough and, you know, would have shaken stuff off, brushed things off. Now he feels, he feels tender and sensitive and he feels weak. God, the situation has weakened him. Dear, oh dear. Just one thing to say as well about this 4 of Swords. Swords are days. This, I wouldn't be surprised if there's some communication within the next few days, but we'll see. At the centre, we have the Page of Rods. Well, this could be about a child, but I think this is about communication, and it should really be good communication. But he's not able to communicate, not just yet. What is stopping that is the 6 of Cups, which is the soulmate card. It can be a card of old connections, old relationships. And it could even stem back to childhood. So we've got 2 childlike cards here, or cards relating to childhood. So what's preventing or what's keeping the separation? He wants to change his situation, but it still doesn't seem quite right. And that's not to do with the timing. That's to do with the connection. In his eyes, there's something wrong with the connection. And I don't mean in terms of you getting on well or it being intense or anything like that. I mean in a physical, practical 3D way. There's something wrong with it. He can't reconcile it in his mind as a proper relationship. And this is a problem for him. It's a real problem because he wants it. But he can't explain why he wants it. He doesn't want to have to explain why he wants it. He doesn't want to tell other people about it. And he doesn't know how to move it forward. I tell you what I actually feel from this. I feel like this masculine has been in love with you for a really, really, really long time. The connection itself may have only really started in the last year or so. But I think he's been in love with you for a long, long time before that. And so on the one level, it's like a wish coming true, a dream, if you like, fantasy. But on another level, because it's a fantasy, he doesn't know how to turn it into reality. He wants to turn it into reality, but he doesn't know how. In fact, I don't even think he thinks it's possible. I feel like he doesn't think it's possible. That's sad, isn't it? Because all things should be possible, really. Yeah, oh my goodness. I suddenly felt like looking at the bottom of the deck when I picked these cards up. And it's the Empress. Look, do you remember I said at the start, the Emperor doesn't want to be without his Empress? And you were right there underneath. I mean, you're literally everywhere for him now. And I think you were. I think you have been all through separation. But there's something about now where he can't take it anymore. He is now feeling quite vulnerable and weak. He's weak now. He's in a very weakened condition, poor thing. And I think that's why potentially he's going to have to bring things forward. Gosh, she's really beautiful. I do love these cards. I mean, if you're the feminine here, you are in the position of power. There's no question about it, in my mind, that the masculine is feeling weak. The strength is all within the feminine at the moment. What did I pick the cards up for? I wanted a clarifier, I think, for why we had the Page of Rods at the centre and why the Six of Cups is crossing it. And that's too many, really. So let's have another go. I only really want one. But actually thinking about it, maybe I don't even need to shuffle any cards because we already found the Empress, didn't we? But I will take one. Queen of Rods. Oh, yeah. Well, very powerful, dynamic woman. Yeah, you are absolutely in your power. The feminine here. My goodness. Rods are cards of action. So we've got the Page of Rods not able to make a move towards the Queen of Rods because of the connection and the way he's perceiving the connection to be. And how he's perceiving the connection to be a problem. And actually, if you look at it like this, the Page and the Queen shouldn't be together. Oh, right, okay, actually, yeah. Maybe he's a lot younger than you. The masculine is younger than the feminine, or less experienced, or less able to cope in some way. Yeah, you are really, in his eyes, you are on a whole other level to him. And it feels unbalanced and mismatched because of that. Yeah, oh, well, okay. Okay, that makes sense. Particularly if you as a feminine stepped back and told him you were going to. I think that's absolutely through him. See, on the one hand, he feels like somebody like you shouldn't be interested in him. But on the other hand, so like, if I put it this way, on a 5D level, you are streaks ahead of him and you shouldn't be interested. Not really. You're so far ahead, it doesn't make any sense. But on a 3D level, I don't know, maybe you look different. I think perhaps there's something about how you look. Maybe you look different to his normal type and he wouldn't be able to explain it away. Perhaps you look different because you're older, or you're from a different background or different ethnicity, different colour, different creed, something like that. His ego doesn't want to explain that, but he does know that on a spiritual or a 5D level, you are way, way, way above him. And so he's at a bit of a, that's partly why he feels weak, It's you make him feel like a boy. And he's thinking like a boy. He doesn't think there's a way forward. I suppose in real terms you should be showing him a way forward, but if you've retreated because of lack of action, then that's not happening. It's quite a complicated dynamic here. Because on the one hand, I mean, we haven't even started the reading properly yet. How many minutes in am I? On the one hand, this connection goes a long way back. A long way back. On the other hand, it feels mismatched. Like you're older or more experienced than him. He feels like a child. He doesn't know how to move it forward. And on the third hand, that's two different versions there already. And in the third case, this is all the same thing. On the third hand, well, we haven't got three hands, so this is ridiculous. But he absolutely wants you by his side. You're it for him. You absolutely are it. The whole thing is the whole situation is causing a lot of stress. I think the feminine has just withdrawn herself and gone back to living life and, you know, put it to the back of her mind. I don't think the masculine's been able to do that. Don't get me wrong, I think that you still get flashes of it as the feminine, but I don't think it's cutting you to pieces like it is the masculine. I don't think it is. I think you've repaired from that situation. I don't think he has. He's really feeling it. Right. So, on the face of it, the situation is everybody's putting a brave face on it. Yes, they are. Everybody's pretending like nothing's happened and that they're not upset. If you're the feminine, you're literally getting on with life. You've gathered your strength together and you are just getting on with it. If you're the masculine, you're pretending everything's fine because probably nobody knows anything about this situation anyway, so you couldn't even tell anybody about it, even if you wanted to, and you don't. So you're just pretending everything's fine. I also think the masculine might just be getting on with life, but but you're sad. He's sad now. I think the feminine... To me, the feminine doesn't feel as sad about this as the masculine does because I think it was lack of action on his part that has stalled the whole thing. I might get a clarifier for the strength card while it's there. Why do we have strength crowning the situation? Yeah. Okay. Ace of... That's quite interesting. 9 of Pentacles, yep, because he's alone. Ace of Rods. Well. He was handed a good thing and he did not. It's like passing the baton in a relay race. He dropped the baton. That's what that feels like to me. It's like an angel came down from heaven and handed you to him as a prize and said, here we are. This is what you've always wanted. This is who you've been dreaming about. This is your fantasy. You've been thinking about this person for a really long time. Here we are. Now get on and have a lovely time. And he didn't. He didn't get on and have a lovely time. He dropped the baton and lost the race. Oh dear. Yeah, he dropped the baton and feels like he's lost the race due to pride. An inability to work out what to do and also to have the balls to do it. It's both, sadly. So, what's underneath? We have, interestingly, we have the Knight of Swords. This is a card of rushing in, where angels fear to tread, I wanted to say. So I think this is what is not obvious or not shown. This is what he was fearing. If he did rush in and try and make it a thing, where was it going to land him up? In, you know, some sort of living hell. Because it was going to cause a problem with other people. And so he chose not to take that route. And has consequently been living like a hermit. What comes with it, along with the hermit, well, but actually the thing is this, while he's been being the hermit, he could have been gaining wisdom. Let's hope he has. Because actually, instead of the Knight of Swords, we also have the King of Swords. So if he has gained wisdom as the Knight of Swords, perhaps now he's ready for some decisive action as the King of Swords. I hope so. And it also, to me, it also feels like he's grown up a bit, or a lot actually. He's gone, actually, if you think about it, at the start, we started off with the page at the start. Now we got the knight, now the king. He's making progress. And don't forget, underneath all of that, he's the emperor. So there's been a really, really rapid growing up phase, I think, going on that you won't know about. If you're the feminine, you won't know that. Because that's very much the masculine energy here. King of Swords, Knight of Swords, Hermit. Those are three masculines. So this reading is, to me, more about how the masculine has been feeling. I suppose perhaps that's because it's probably a bit more obvious how the feminine's been feeling. She probably made her feelings clear right from the start. I like you. I want to see you. Can we have a relationship? And he just didn't know how. Couldn't do it. Was overwhelmed. So actually we do know how the feminine feels. And I think the feminine's probably told the masculine how she feels. And even if she hasn't, he'll know why you retreated now. In the past, yes, he's just right. Okay, so this gives me a bit of hope actually that we might actually be getting some action, because judgment is in the past. This is the business of waking up and of growing up. And I've said that's been going on and we haven't seen it. And this is now in the past position. So well, in fact, I think both the masculine and the feminine had a big wake-up call. The feminine to her own worth. I am worth a darn sight more than this. I'm not going to be treated like a secret or kept dangling on a string or not knowing where I am with you. No. So she had a wake-up call about her own worth and has been busily growing into her full empress mode, knowing her own worth and not taking any nonsense from anybody, and also not taking anything less than she deserves from anybody either. And I feel like that's quite powerful. I think she strongly knows what she deserves and isn't accepting anything less from now on, be it from the divine masculine or anybody else in her life, be it a horrible boss. No, she's woken up and learnt that she's fabulous and needs to be treated that way. She is a divine being, the Empress. And I think his wake-up call was to do with what he actually wants in life, what that actually is. And I think that's been ongoing, the business of trying to work out what he wants, what's going to make him happy long term. And so that's in the past, which is a great position to find it in, because that means that in the future we're moving forward. And would you believe it, future position, we've got the Chariot. Woohoo! Finally, there might be some forward motion. But for those of you who are not that familiar with the tarot, the Chariot isn't actually going anywhere. It's somebody who's ready to go who hasn't actually gone yet. So I think we're going to get a clarifier for that card. I'd quite like a timing card or some sort of clarity to go with the, oh heck, I don't want all of them, but I did see this. Page of Pentacles, slow. Yeah, okay, we know it's going to be slow. It wasn't going anywhere. How slow? Page of Pentacles is really slow. Anything else you'd like to add? With the slow moving Page of Pentacles energy, can you give us any more? Anything in a bit of a speedy sense? No, there's nothing coming. And I tell you why. It's because he's busy planning. Four of Pentacles, yeah. Okay, so this card nearly tried to jump out before and I didn't take it and it's come anyway. That's about clinging on tightly to, well, to your own beliefs and what you think is right and all of that. So he's still gaining wisdom and he's still making a plan. So he's planning to move forward. Okay, so that's good news. He is planning to move forward. The bad news is whatever it was that slowed him down in the first place is still a problem. So he's not really quite ready yet. It's sort of, to me, this is like there's areas of his life that he needs to deal with first. That's what it feels like to me. It feels a bit like, I think the home is one area. I think possibly his family's another one. His job might be another. And where he wants to live in the world, it feels to me like he's got things he needs to sort out first. Well, that's no good. I'm afraid that's not good enough for me. I want more. Well, how long is it going to take him? Sorry, I'm getting a bit cross now. 5 of Cups. Now he knows, he does know that if he's too late, you won't be around. He knows that, all right. So, right, well, I'm very drawn to the 2 cups here. It could be 2 months for him to carry on sorting out everything that he's busy planning before he can get things moving. It could be 2 months' time. We'll see. Personal position, we've got wishes coming true. So, I suppose if you're a twin flame in separation, you want the separation to end, your wish is going to come true. Your wish is going to come true if you're the feminine, because the masculine is going to take action. And if you're the masculine, your wish is going to come true because when you do take action, the feminine is still going to be there. She's not going to let you treat her badly, however, but she is still going to be there. She is still somewhat invested in the connection. Well, that's good. In the home position, oh, it's very quiet. Yeah, this is it. It's so quiet. There hasn't been any communication. But there is a gaining of wisdom and there is a gaining of clarity. And insight. You see, these are the 2 cards of insight, the female and the male. These are the 2 cards of insight, feminine insight, masculine insight. So the 2 of you, all the while the separation's been going on, the gaining of wisdom is happening for both parties. Hopes and fears. Well, we're fearing the situation is never going to end, and we're hoping that it does. And yes, let's take a clarifier for that. Let's see. Can you tell us anything more about when the situation is going to end? The moon. Ooh, that's interesting. To me, often the moon, if I get the moon in a question like that, that means a month normally. And I said before, I think it could be 2 months. So I think we're looking at the next 2 months. Be some sort of communication in a month, maybe an actual date or something in 2 months. Maybe something more tangible in 2 months. Good. The outcome, Ace of Cups, is divinely guided love. He knows it. She knows it. It was handed to them, both. He fumbled and dropped the baton. Do you remember I said before it was divinely guided? Yeah, divinely guided. I think everybody knows that now. And I took a clarifier for that, which is the King of Rods. Well, that's interesting because we got the Queen of Rods before. It's a divinely guided partnership. So we've got two pairs here. The Emperor and the Empress, the King and Queen of Rods. He knows it's a divine pairing. She knows it's a divine pairing. And it's time actually to bring these two pairs together. It's time actually to bring these two pairs together. Wow. Okay, right, I'm just wondering, let's take one more timing card if we can get, oh, no, I know what I'll do. Let's see if we can get a timing card from the Spell Oracle, because sometimes they have timing cards in here. Let's have a quick look and see what we get here. These are really beautiful cards. I hope you've been enjoying this reading with these cards. This is from the Aquarian Tarot. I love them, they're so beautiful. And into union. 24th of December. Well, we've got ambition, and at the bottom of the deck we've got love. Let me just read from this. When the Priestess of Ambition appears, it is time to step up into a leadership role. In this situation, charm, wit, as well as a large dash of confidence are required. Motivating yourself and others to achieve something wonderfully daring and adventurous is strongly indicated. So the lesson here is to keep going despite the odds stacked against you. So if you're the masculine watching this and you want to bring this separation into union, that's to give you a dose of courage, I would say. The other card we got here was love, obviously. And it says, the appearance of the love card suggests an important new relationship is about to change your life for the better. It could be a romantic relationship, a business relationship, or the blossoming of a friendship. Keep your heart open to new possibilities. Okay. Right. Well. Oh. Underneath. August the 5th to September the 1st. That takes us right back to the very first card I talked about, which was the Four of Swords, and I said it could be any time soon. Let's hope so. I hope you've enjoyed this reading. Please like and subscribe so that I can read your energy more easily. If you would like a personal reading, my information is in the description box below. But until next time, this has been the Timeless Tarot. Goodbye.